Good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining this morning. Some of you may be apoplectic because of you are not getting what you asked for last night. The American people are not here to give you what you're asking, but rather, American people are here to do what is right. There is a huge difference between what you're asking and what is right. The American people are here to defend the Constitution and protect our land, and of course, stand for the rights of humanity. That's what we do. We are so sorry that you're not getting what you're asking for. That is not the right thing to do. We believe in human values and good justice system in this country. That's what we're all about. Let's go ahead and start today's session. So we're going to talk about Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis. It is a set of theory that states that there is a correlation between subconscious mind and conscious mind. Subconscious mind is where memories, habits, are stored and cannot be visible, and as opposed to conscious mind, where these traits, or if you will, these things are visible, like belief, habits. On the inside, you have these things, your memory, your habits, which is only visible when you operate upon it. In other words, that if you have this innate thought of committing a crime for a long time, that's what is going to be manifested when you commit that crime. So if you have these different kinds of ideas in your mind, and that will be manifested at a later time in your life. So for example, if you're having thoughts of committing something, that will be manifested. You can sometimes you get to see this through dreams, because what you perceive in your mind will be reflected in your dreams as well. So basically what this is telling is that there is a relationship between conscious mind and subconscious mind. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Tsiolkovsky rocket equation. Tsiolkovsky was a rocket scientist that pioneered astronautics. Astronautics is the space and technology of travel. The science and technology of space travel, rather. Sorry. The equation is this: delta V is equal to change in exhaust velocity times natural logarithm times initial mass divided by final mass. So we can find the difference in velocity as the rocket moves forward based on the depletion of its mass. So ln, which is the natural logarithm, the reason ln is used in this equation because as the rocket moves forward, the fuel will be depleted, so weight will be lost. So that's why ln is used, as opposed to ln is the opposite of exponential function, by the way. Let's keep going with this. Environmental science. It is the interdisciplinary approach in which how humans and natural systems interact to solve environmental problems such as pollution, climate change, and resource depletion, as opposed to environmental engineering. Environmental engineering is the application of science and technology to solve environmental problems. Let me see what we can do here. Fundamental analysis, another term that we need to learn today. It is the goal is to determine if the asset's current market value is whether it is undervalued or overvalued, for the investors to make an informed decision when they are purchasing or selling an asset. It's very true in stock market. So let's keep going with this, and let's see what we can do here. Organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is the study of carbon-contained compounds. It is a true fact that the human body has about 18.5% of carbon. Structure, properties, composition, reaction, and preparation of carbon-containing compound. That's what it stands for. It is the study of the structure, properties, composition, and reaction of carbon-contained compounds. Genetics. It is the study of how genes, traits, and heredity are passed from parents to children. So if we're going to talk about genetics, of course, we want to talk about DNA. when we talk about human cells, it has a nucleus, and inside the nucleus we have nucleotides, genes, and chromosomes. So nucleotides, ATCG. So adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. And of course, when we talk about chromosomes, we have a total of 23 pairs. And cytochrome P140 is responsible for the metabolization of drugs. Forensic science, ladies and gentlemen, the application of scientific method to investigate crimes and analyze evidence for use in court. And this is applied almost every day in our legal system in our country. So what is Princeton University famous for? Princeton University famous for is exceptional academic reputation. So it is part of the Ivy League, and notable alumni are the Supreme Court Associate Judge Ms. Sotomayor, Michelle Obama, and of course Jeff Bezos of Amazon. He used to be the CEO of Amazon. I hope he's doing good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and this university is famous for liberal arts and science. Liberal arts basically stands for long-term studies, general knowledge rather than vocational training. It's not for a career, but rather it is for you to gain knowledge and understand different things and things like that. And this university is very famous for these studies. And the number one university in this country is MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And second in line, second place goes to, I think it is Columbia University in New York. And by the way, Donald Trump has a degree from Pennsylvania University back in the days. And I hope everybody is doing good. I mean, today we're not going to do too much. We just wanted to touch base with a lot of things, some of these things. That's all we're looking for. So what is America? When we come to Air Force One is the symbol of American democracy and freedom, without which we cannot stand. We always stand for freedom and democracy in this country, democratic values, democracy in this country. That's what we want to do. When our president gets on board of Air Force One, what he has in his mind is that he wants to defend the Constitution. He wants to stand for the freedom of America. Can we trust Donald Trump with his hands on nuclear codes, with the nuclear suitcase? Well, do we really worry about that though? I mean, does the president have the ultimate power to use nuclear codes? Does he know the code today? I don't know. I mean, it's the military, I think. He's going to have to be in touch with the military personnel before he can unfold it. A lot of times in the presidential debate, especially during the presidential debate, they ask, do you trust Donald Trump? Can you trust Donald Trump with his hands on nuclear codes? And a lot of them say, yeah, I think we can trust him with his hands on nuclear codes because he's not going to use it unless we absolutely have to. Well, we don't worry about nuclear weapons anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that was back during the first and the second. The second World War. We hellfired Hiroshima and Nagasaki of Japan, and killing 250,000 or more people at the time. Plutonium bomb and the atomic bomb, the plutonium and the uranium. Uranium-35 is enriched into plutonium, and that's what it is. Plutonium is really not a naturally occurring element, but rather uranium-235 is, and 238 is plutonium. So anyway, we can definitely trust Donald Trump with his hands on nuclear code, and we don't think that he's going to use nuclear weapon on anybody else. Let's talk about Palestinians' position today And how many of you believe, or how many of you are in support of Palestinians having a state on their own? Well, I am definitely in support of Palestinians to have a state on their own, but not at the cost of Israel, not where Israel is. The Palestinian settlements are both in Golan Heights and the other place we're talking about, the main settlement. So we cannot have them. We cannot allow them to have a state. We're talking a state at the heart of Israel, because it is against the Bible. Because God is looking for a territorial expansion for Israel, and that is going to have to happen. It is going to have to accommodate about 20 million people before the end of 2050. In order for that to happen, it needs to stand for territorial expansion. Where is it going to get from? It is going to have to either get from Syria. We're not talking about Damascus. Well, we need to get to there. We need to get to that, and of course we can get that. So Palestinians can definitely have their own land if the Jordanians are willing to give them a little bit of property. Jordan is a big land when it comes to Middle East, so Palestinians can definitely have a state on their own in there, but not where Golan Heights and I don't know why this. It's just it's not happening there. I'm not in support of that. The Hamas is still interested in taking people hostage from Israel, so we cannot really stand for that. We want to make sure that they are not able to do it. We want to protect the land of Israel, and I am highly encouraging the current Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, to take all the initiatives possible to protect Israel and to protect the people of Israel. It is very important. Biblically, it is correct, because there is a God-ordained purpose behind your survival in that country, because we're not going to go for another exile. It's not going to happen. We have had that so many times in the past. It is not going to happen. We're not looking for exile anymore. We need our land. American government, I am a politician. I'm going to stand by the side of Israel. I'm going to lead from front, not from behind. I'm going to make sure that you are able to have the resources available for you to be successful in your efforts to protect the nation of Israel. I'm still getting brain lapse, if you will, about that particular property here, Western Bank. That's what I was looking for. So we cannot have a Palestinian state within Israel. That needs to change, because we're looking for territorial expansion. In order for these groups to coexist, we have to come up with other strategies. We want to make peace in the Middle East, of course. Hamas will never understand. They will continue to operate on their intentions. That is going to have to be stopped. And we are going to stop them. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're all about. We will make sure that these people are brought to their knees, and they will no longer have the capability to continue with their efforts to endanger the national security of Israel and the people of Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're coming to a good day today, and may God bless each and every one of you. Some of you are in a position where you have to speak against your will, make videos and things like that. It's okay. It's normal. You can do that. I want the Speaker of the House, Mr. Johnson, to move forward in seating this congressman from Arizona. If you can do that, that'll be great, sir. You don't have to be inactive. You have to just go ahead, and she's able to swear in as soon as possible. Don't be delayed. I'm asking you. Thank you, sir, so much. Everybody, really want to thank you all so much. I love you all. We want to make life better for everybody else in this country. A lot of people are suffering from different kinds of problems. And let's go ahead and stand for the freedom and justice for every individual in this country. We bring people into this country through immigration. We want to give them a chance to survive. If we don't want to bring them in, we can stop it. And that's what we need to do. Thank you all so much. May God bless you.